Okay, the devotion that I've chosen for tonight is out of the Phillips translation of the New Testament. It's in modern English. It explains things really well for people that are not too enamored of the King James Version. I'm going to read out of Paul's letter to the Colossians, the first chapter, beginning with verse 15. Who Christ is and what he has done. Now Christ is the visible expression of the invisible God. He existed before creation began, for it was through him that everything was made, whether spiritual or material, seen or unseen. Through him and for him also were created power and dominion, ownership and authority. In fact, every single thing was created through and for him. He is both the first principle and upholding principle of the whole scheme of creation. And now he is the head of the body, which is the church. Life from nothing began through him, and life from the dead began through him. And he is therefore justly called the Lord of all. It was in him that the full nature of God chose to live. And through him, God planned to reconcile in his own person, as it were, everything on earth and everything in heaven by virtue of the sacrifice of the cross. I like that word reconcile. You know, if we're not reconciled with our friends and family, we can't have peace, you know. Reconciliation's a beautiful thing, and Christ does it. You yourselves, who were strangers to God, and in fact, through the evil things you had done, were his spiritual enemies, he's now reconciled you through the death of his body on the cross, so that he might welcome you into his presence clean and pure, without blame or reproach. This reconciliation assumes, of course, that you maintain a firm position in the faith and do not allow yourselves to be shifted away from the hope of the gospel, which you have heard, and which indeed the whole world is now having the opportunity of hearing. Y'all look, with our social media, truly it's so easy for the whole world to have the chance of hearing, no telling where what you put on social media goes. So you need to every once in a while give a plug to Jesus on your social media. You don't need to, show your narcissism or your materialism all the time. Anyway, this Phillips translation explains the Bible really well. It's in the King James there were phrases like, in him dwelleth the fullness of the Godhead bodily. Well, they said it here plain. Okay? So if you fall short in reading the scripture because it's not explained well to you, maybe you feel like the disciples when Jesus quit telling them parables and just told them flat out, yes, I did come from the Father. I came to the world. Now I'm reading out of the Gospel of John. Jesus had to lay it out for them plain. Now I leave the world behind. I return to the Father. Now you're speaking plainly, cried the disciples. You're not using parables. Now we know that everything is known to you. No more questions are needed. This makes us sure that you did come from God. So you believe me now? Replied Jesus. The time is coming indeed. It has already come when you will be scattered, every one of you going home and leaving me alone. Yet I am not really alone, for the Father is with me. I have told you all this so that you may find your peace in me. You will find trouble in the world, but never lose heart. I have conquered the world. In the world you shall have tribulation, but be of good cheer, for I have overcome the world. So, when you get discouraged, just remember who Christ is and what he has done and what he has promised, and Praise Him for the fulfillment of His promises. Even when you have trouble, that's a fulfillment of promise. And be reconciled to Him so you'll have peace. Thank you.